All right, so our next stop is at the Neuzeit booth. Thomas, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Enjoying the show so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. You guys are showing off the Drop,
Yes.
which is a brand new device.
Yeah.
What is it and what does it do?
Well, it's a MIDI control center for live performance, especially hardware live performers. You
Yep.
can also connect to Ableton. But yeah, the main goal is you have a live setup like this with a mix of Eurorack, for example, or other machines that are kind of menu heavy,
Yep.
where you have to dive in. And you can break out all the important controls to a nice and tidy
Like one central surface,
central
yeah,
surface,
fantastic.
yeah. So the main feature is probably that you can have snapshots. So all of these controls, these are endless encoders here with LED rings. So they work like a potentiometer, but they can also snap to a specific value. So when I push a snapshot, you can see that all the values change at the instant when I push the button. I also have the small potentiometer up here where I can introduce a small fade time. So when I hit the snapshot now, it's slowly transitioning from one position to the other, so it's fading in between snapshots. I can also press multiple of these at the same time. Yeah, so I can kind of morph between all of these. So that's one way to charge the snapshot. The other way is in combination with the master clock we have running. So we have a master clock running around here that counts, in this case, 8 bars. So when I start the music that's coming from the live set, it's like this. We have the master clock counting. So I now dial up the fade time, push this snapshot, and now we're transitioning towards this snapshot. So the Drop is creating a build-up for me that contains all the controls. And in the best case, I'm playing in a club, hands go in the air. I now have to go out of this. So I go to Drop mode, and in Drop mode, I can schedule a snapshot now. So I push this one, for instance, and now I see how much time I have left, and it will execute the snapshot when it reaches the top. I can also beat jump when I need more time or less time, and we're back on track. So this brought us through a transition to the next instant change of a snapshot, and I can do this the whole night. So I just merge to the next snapshot, can also intersect, do crazy stuff, go nuts with the controls, and really mess it up. I'm at a horrible place now. It sounds probably pretty awful, but fortunately I have the Drop functionality that brings me back. I can put my hands in the air, and I'm on safe ground. So we have not only these 20 snapshots, we have 20 banks of 20 snapshots. I can change banks here. And it's also intended to be one song per bank. So you can also have program change messages that are executed when you push a snapshot, and that changes the pattern on all your machines synchronously. We also took care that program changes happen right before the 8 bars or 32 bars or whatever you want, right before it ends, so that it takes, everything stays nicely in sync. So, connection-wise, we have quite a bunch of outputs here. This is all MIDI out. Maybe we can see it better here. We have 4 times MIDI in, MIDI out, switchable type A, type B. We also have 2 CV inputs and 2 CV outs, and 2 USB ports that can automatically detect master, host and device mode. So you can connect small MIDI controllers, but you can also connect like a laptop or something that is a host. And each connection goes out to a different device. That way you have full control, full data throughput of every cable, and can also introduce individual clock delays for each machine so that everything runs perfectly in sync. It can also be clocked to external clock. In best case, it's the master clock. You can also output CV clocks, or it can sync to incoming CV clocks. So saving and recalling snapshots is actually quite hands-on. So I simply push the save button to save a snapshot, and now everything that is green on the right side is going to be saved in the snapshot. I just push the slot I want to save it to, and I'm done, and I can recall it anytime. When I hit save again, I can select and deselect whatever is supposed to be in the snapshot. So I can only select a subset of the controls I want to have in, because sometimes I want to have a snapshot that only affects one synth voice or only the hi-hats. But as styling in and out is quite tedious, we have select groups so that you can predefine some groups of snapshots that make sense in your setup. So this would be one synth voice in my setup, this is another synth voice in my setup, this is just the hi-hats. So I can build snapshots pretty much also in a modular way, so that when I execute multiple of them at the same time or deselect them, I can get my own, I can cook my own soup of configuration of timbres that I want to have. The same goes for the drop functionality, so that I can also play this in kind of a improvised way. Yeah, so configuration is always a big thing for live performance. So all the configuration is done on the device itself, and you can have you can predefine the devices you have and name them. Like this is the warp, the Töpfer voice, octatrack, rhythm. Select the default channel, the port it's going to be connected to. One important feature is MIDI merge. So for instance, the warp should also receive MIDI data from like TRS2 now, which is the octatrack sequencer. It should listen to this channel. You can filter messages. Should it receive pitch band notes, whatsoever. You can redistribute the messages to a different channel. Then there's also stuff like note gate on off, or you can map it to a semitone shift or octave shift, so that it also alters the incoming notes, which makes a sequencer like the octatrack sequencer that's kind of static, it makes it more useful. You can also add another merger so that you can interact with a MIDI controller like this, like a keyboard, and put all the messages together so that your target device gets a really nice signal. For the mapping, you can have up to 8 targets per control, also with individual controls, and spread this across your whole live set. So you're quite versatile. There's also a learn function, and you can move the targets around, so that configuration is really fast and easy on the device itself, and hopefully not much of a pain. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we covered most of it.
Amazing. It's a very powerful bit of kit then.
Yeah, I hope so.
Fantastic. Is it available to buy now?
It's available in August, probably.
In August.
Yes, we're going into beta testing phase then. And
fantastic.
Yeah,
have you got a price set yet?
Yes, it's going to be $799 at retailers worldwide.
Amazing. Yeah. Thomas, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yes, nice.